What is good, yo? Welcome to your favorite weekly podcast, Rebel Broadcast by the one and only Midnight Rebels. And I am your host, that kid from Manila making waves, baby, Kobeast. And right now, we are on our second leg of the Visayas Intercity Tour with the Midnight Rebels. And nandito kami sa Iloilo, City of Love. And excited ako ngayon because yung guests natin is mga batchmates ko. Yes, sir. And just like me, we got the same fire, the same drive, and what we want to do in the industry. And I'm gonna introduce them. Make some fucking noise for Lean and Loso. What's up, guys? What's good? What's good? What's good?
Welcome to Lilo, bro.
Thanks, man. What's good, man? So, I'm gonna jump right into it. Para sa viewers, para sa listeners, who is Lin and who is Loso? I mean, Loso and Lin.
It can go either way.
L and L.
Yeah. So, who is Loso? So, my name is Jude De Loso, or also known as DJ Loso. Outside of DJing, I'm a fresh grad out of Central Philippine University. Graduated computer science. Outside of DJing, I'd like to think of myself as a builder of brands and opportunities. So I think it really worked hand in hand with my whole nightlife experience so far.
What's you, Lin?
Hello, my name's Lynn. I'm 23 years old. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. And in the inner cities of Houston, well, of course, my background was super hip hop. So I was a b-boy. Everything was just coming, kind of natural to me. So yeah, I'm into like contemporary art, and yeah, in general, I just love that kind of stuff.
How did you guys meet?
Actually, through common friends. But the first time me and Lynn actually had an actual conversation was already about business. So
Doon kayo nagka-connect talaga.
Yeah. So basically, he wasn't. He was some guy pitching a business idea and for a club. So which we started off. We started off like interested in the idea and trying to turn it to life. But sooner or later we realized that we wanted to turn it into a nightlife event, a nightlife event organization rather, or collective.
During that time, DJs na kayo or you guys are just part of the nightlife scene? Or
During the time, we just do house parties. So of course, as college students, like that's kind of what we do. We would host these college parties with like a bunch of close friends, people that were very, I guess, they had like the consensus of like the kind of vibes that we liked. And of course, these house parties was just sharing that kind of love of music in general. So everything just kind of came naturally for me and Jude.
Talking about music, can you introduce to the people what genre are you guys playing? What genre? Because we all know that open format top 40s hip hop is the shit right now.
Of course.
And every DJ in the scene needs to play that. But who is the real Loso and who is the real Lin?
Okay, I think I could answer this question in behalf of Cloud Nyt. So of course, all our members have different styles because we all learn DJing from different fundamentals. But of course, I would say in a general sense of what you would probably hear in Cloud Nyt, you would probably hear a lot of garage, definitely house, but of course, we're Gen Z, so we're putting out like that Peggy Goo style,
Yes, sir.
Those kind of vibes that we really do love. You'll hear a lot of trap on our hip hop nights because they really just go well together. And sometimes, if we want to go a bit crazy, we can put a little bass house or drum and bass here and there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I guess that's what you would find in Cloud Nyt. Yeah.
But we'd still play like the normal top 40s, like mainstream hits, but also remixed into certain genres that you don't find typical. So that's basically the goal in trying to put out our sound.
Let's talk about musical inspiration. Siyempre, all of us, merong certain artist, may artist talaga or certain person na isa sila sa reason na mapapasabi ka sa sarili mo na, shit, I have to DJ. I need to DJ because of this fucking dude. So, who is your musical inspiration internationally and locally, and why?
For me, when I started like going out, attending all these parties, because I'm a big fan of music, I kind of didn't really paid attention to like who the DJ is. What's important is the type of vibe he gives, the type of songs he plays. But right now, like I kind of really had like a change of perspective, because I had like a lot of inspirations now. I can't really name all, but just to name a few, in terms of like DJing wise, since I'm a real fan of like world beats, I tend to really watch a lot of Marco Pedro, and also when it comes to like mashups, like bangers, definitely Shang Yu. So producer wise, like I listen to Orange Juice Asia, Knockin', Like Never, Camos, Franchise, Brilliant, or however you like pronounce it, and also Davis. So yeah, that's it for me.
How about you, brother man?
So for me, I guess musical inspirations in general. Actually, because me and Jude kind of work on it together. When we're picking songs and we're going through songs on, of course, like different music pools, we just kind of go for that certain. There's a certain vibe that we go for, and a lot of it has to do with the drums. So I guess in music production, there's kind of like a term called like polyrhythms and things like that. We like DJs that, producers that like to kind of go outside the norm of like the normal 4x4 rhythms. We like it, I guess, kind of a little stagger style, because it adds a lot of swagger into it. So yeah, like I said earlier, Brilliant. He's a really great Korean music producer. I stayed in Korea for a while. I was really inspired by the music producers there, because for some reason they could just take a normal song, and just by switching up the drums and the 808s, they just added like that sauce and like that flavor in it. So we always gravitated to around like those kind of hard-hitting beats.
You guys have been on the scene for a year now, right? If I'm not mistaken, that we talked about yesterday. Syempre, introducing yourself in the scene, in the industry, what are the challenges that you guys face? Syempre, as a young artist, as a young growing artist, and coming into the scene hot, can you share us those challenges, and how did you conquer those? How did you cope with those challenges? You go first, my man.
So, of course, coming into the scene, there was like a lot of pressure on our back, not because we were really nervous about DJing. We were really nervous about meeting expectations with people, and of course the seniors as well that have, cultivated this culture here in the city. So I guess one of our biggest challenges was finding a mentor, definitely, because I would say that DJing as art in general is very gatekeep. It's easy to go online, learn on YouTube how to DJ, but I feel like nothing's gonna push you forward than having someone that, of course, wants to take you in as a student, that believes in you, and that's willing to, grow your skills. Because at the end of the day, when our mentors are passing down, like their love and like their and like all that knowledge that they collected through the years of this craft, it really, really helps you as a young artist. So I guess number one is finding a mentor.
Sir.
So I feel like there was a point where you kind of had to prove yourself a little bit, because they want you to do your own work, and then they'll just touch you up a little bit. kind of, you know.
Also, good tip in finding a mentor. Someone told me this, I just can't remember na. When you find yourself a mentor, make sure that that mentor is you like his artistry. You know, it's like you got the same shit, you got the same drive. Because if you get a mentor na iba yung hinahabol niya, iba yung gusto niya mangyari sa career niya, para madidiscourage ka. Pwede ka matuto. You might learn, you might be a good artist, pero magkaiba kayo ng gusto. You can get discouraged on your craft.
Yeah.
Pero yeah, just sharing. How about you, man?
Probably for me, the biggest challenge is breaking into the industry. So luckily for us though, we had a great support system behind us, which were our friends who went out every single weekend. We were already friends with like the DJs here in the city, which really helped us learn. Even before we went into the nightlife scene, they were already sharing to us, how these certain stuff works, because, we'd like to go out all the time. And luckily enough, we had people that believed in us, such as establishments, which I'll mention later, and like nightlife people in Iloilo. So yeah.
Okay, let's jump to the most exciting part. Cloud Night. So you guys are also known as the Cloud Night dudes. So how did Cloud Night start?
So I think Lynn could answer this
Sir.
better.
Head
Like
mark.
I said,
I'm just kidding.
I feel like before DJing, I was just an artist in general. Aside from dance, I really loved graffiti. So if you notice in the logo, that was actually hand drawn by me. I just wanted a design for like my kitchen table, and I thought like, oh, like this cloud like is really cool. So it's kind of like a wordplay, because of course Cloud 9 is kind of common and it's like copyrighted. So we were like, oh, Cloud Night, because we're the cloud that only appears at the night.
Yes, sir.
'Cause that's when we like to party. So we called our crew like Cloud People, and yeah, it just kind of went from there. So that was the start of us hosting house parties.
Yes, sir.
So yeah.
So, in the process of making the group itself, syempre, you're picking up people for the team. So, how did you do it? Like, it's like, dude, we're gonna make a team. I need this one because he's better at this. I need this one because he's better at that. Then, you handle this one. So, what's the process?
Okay, so for that, obviously this would not be possible without all our friends. Because like I said, we're a bunch of college students working together. We're busy, we have our own schedules. So when we threw parties and things like that, everything was kind of like organic, because we already knew as friends our strengths and weaknesses. And I'm actually going to pass the mic to Loso in a bit, because he really educated me a lot on like the business side of things. Like I was more on like the artistry side. Jude really brought things together so that this could happen. And can you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, Lynn here tends to be more of the visionary out of the two of us. He sometimes gives out of the world ideas, unrealistic sometimes, but that's what you want. That's what you actually want out of a partner. Is like when we first met, he already had that drive in him. So what he needed was, someone, as cheesy as it sounds, like someone who could actually be the realist and tell him, Lynn, this is not possible. So like when it came to ideas and strategies such as recruiting team members, forming our team, we kind of really focused on we kind of focused on the disruptiveness of each member, like what could they bring to the table, and because like that's what Cloud Night is all about, actually bringing in something new to the city. And yeah, so
ang ganda pala ng balance. Like, your balance as a group there's someone out of the box mag-isip for the group, and there's someone logical mag-isip. So, doon kayo nagbi-meet halfway to may for Cloud Night. Pero this next question is, syempre when you guys are starting, like I said, top 40s is the shit right now. It's the standard. And for Cloud Night, you guys are promoting the underground music. So how did you guys found the market? I mean, paano nyo nahanap yung fan base? How did you created the market for your group?
So, I guess there's like this quote, right, from people who kind of like host parties. They say that if you tell your friend to invite their friends of friends, you have a party already. So I guess when you see like 40 to 60 teenagers jumping up and down to a certain track, you might not know it, but the fact that they're just as excited about it makes you want to go like, what's that song? And you start shazamming it, and then you're like, oh, like that's pretty cool. I'm gonna kind of explore deeper into it. That's what happened with Cloud Night and house parties. So Cloud Night didn't just like start like just like an establishment, like I guess from like a really formal sense, you know, working with establishments. It happened like that. So of course, when we wanted to bring that kind of cloud sound to the public, we really had to re-strategize as how we wanted to do it. And we wanted to do it with baby steps at a time.
Sir.
Because of course, you know, we couldn't like flood, you know, everyone like with all these new things. So just like I guess like family and friends, we treat our crowd as family and friends, right? We always want to meet in the middle with you guys. And that's kind of the mindset or the root or like the heart of how we push that new sound moving forward. So, you know, if you take your time, like we'll take our time with you, you know, like it's an exchange.
Yesterday we talked about Cloud Night is also about educating the crowd and the musical tastes. So there's one thing that you said that really caught my attention is about the middle ground. So let's talk about Cloud Night educating the crowd and about the middle ground theory.
I really like the middle ground theory too. So the middle ground was kind of like a plan or strategy as to how we wanted to introduce these genres naturally and organically. So I can't really describe how it is. It really did come with the experience of us playing like every single week. But we've kind of honed our craft to a point where we kind of know our formula. So I guess when we come on in Cloud Night, we like to come off very vibey, swag, kind of sexy. So we think of those, I guess, adjectives, and we play music that fits it. So it's almost kind of like a game, right? Where like we already come on stage knowing that we're gonna have fun with you guys. So when we arrange our sets, whatever song feels right, like whatever genre we feel like goes in synergy with what you're currently vibing to, I guess that's when we would kind of bring it in. So of course, right, everyone's familiar with house music, and there's a lot of top 40 songs that are in house music. So when we say middle ground, we basically would take, let's just say, Empire State of Mind. Everyone really likes that song. I love that song too. But have you heard a drum and bass edit of Empire State of Mind? So it's kind of like finding like that part, because everyone knows the song, everyone can sing to it, but at the same time, you're kind of conditioning the family, the people, right? About like, oh, you've heard this style of drums, you heard this style. You might not know the name of the genre, but you've definitely heard this kind of like beat style. That's all we want to do. We just want to add that familiarity. So over a course of time, we can kind of push it a little bit deeper. So that's what we call the middle ground area. It's the middle ground between me and you. So yeah.
That is a good topic, especially for the listeners right now, because we got so many aspiring DJs, so many DJs who wants to learn from the podcast that we do. So the middle ground theory is a good lesson.
That's a good headline as well.
Yeah, syempre, lalo na yung mga starting DJs ngayon, they're in the generation of open format eh. and they got their own music para at least magkaroon sila ng idea. They got an idea on what they're gonna do to introduce themselves in their own music.
To expound on the middle ground, I think in simpler terms, it's just about finding the right balance.
Yeah. Let's talk about organizing your events. Siyempre, making an event, creating an event, organizing an event, there's so many risks. And do you guys get anxious and nervous like a day before? Siyempre, sometimes like, shit, baka walang pumunta. Is there scenarios like that?
Well, I mean, for me, I've been doing event organizing for years already. So, last year was my first in nightlife events. So it's kind of like the same thing naman. Like, as, same as like the other events, there's what you call it, there's like planning involved, marketing, how you're gonna attract people, what's your niche, what's your target market and all. So, but as to like actually worrying about if people would come and if the event would be a success, I think for me, at first there definitely was, but when like as time passed by, we kind of really gained a lot of experience, which kind of made that feeling come, normal or not as big of an impact. So, yeah.
Let's.
Yeah.
You go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Anxiety when it came to event organizing. Of course, especially in the beginning, Jude was the doorman, our MC Abudi, he was the bouncer, and I was also the DJ, but I was also handing out like menus to people that would be sitting down. So of course, as hard as it was coming up, we kind of did everything. Like, I would DJ for 6 hours straight and still like, transition and then go back, hand someone the menu. Hey, this is what we're selling today. Here are the drinks that we have and things like that. And Jude would just be running up and down the aisle. So I guess since we had it hard in the beginning, right now in the current state of Cloud Night, when we're working with formal establishments, it just makes the job a lot easier for us because they're willing to help us to provide us the manpower that we need to make things run smoothly. So it got a little easier over time, but in the beginning, it definitely was a challenge, but we don't regret it. So,
okay, this is my favorite part. Can you tell us on what happened on last night's event and how do you guys feel at J7? Because if I'm not mistaken, you told that it's like your final event at J7, right? And we've talked after the show. You guys told me that it's kind of emotional. So what happened, man? Share us your thoughts.
I mean, we really, really wanted to go out with a bang and at least end it on a note showing, I guess, to the people what Cloud Night was all about. Cloud Night is all about expression and freedom, and of course working with you guys, the Midnight Rebels crew, and then Dimas, showing us a lot of love.
The boys are here also, behind the scene.
We wanted to go out leaving an impression with the community, the Cloud people, and showing them that with Cloud Night, as long as Cloud Night lives, the underground will never die.
Yes, sir.
So at the end of the day, we've always wanted to preserve that. We've never wanted it to let it go. And at the end of the day, that thought just kind of lingered in the back of our mind. And I think Jude has something to add.
Yes, sir.
I mean, like, last night was great. We actually, we kind of did like a similar setup. We called it Rave Room before, but last night was really something. I'd say something different because
Very special.
yeah, it was very special.
Very intimate.
Yeah, knowing that we'll be on a break after last night, in terms of the brand itself, from our regular Saturdays, that doesn't mean we're stopping from partnerships or doing events every single month. If the opportunity comes, the opportunity comes. So yeah, for me it was kind of emotional. Me and Lynn just wanted to like enjoy the whole of our set. Everyone there, like everyone, like the whole lineup, the full lineup, Cloud Night, Midnight Rebels, like we played a lot of sick beats, and like
Sir.
I heard like a lot of good feedback as well. So what's important is that we enjoyed, the crowd enjoyed, and the establishment is happy.
Yo, shout out to all the fans, okay? Without you guys' support, first and foremost, Cloud Night would never ever exist. The fact that we got to vibe with you guys, and of course, like working all the way up to like towards the end of the night, especially during D-Moss's set, the fact that and I know that all the DJs here really felt something when they really like put their hearts out in their set and really tried things that were quite risky. The fact that you guys understood and were kind of open to it as well, like we cannot
Yeah.
like we are so internally grateful for all of you guys. So wherever we go in the future, I really hope you guys come along with us for the ride. So thank you so much to all the Cloud people. Thank you.
Sir, much love. Can you tell the people what can they expect from you guys on the following days, on the following months? Are there events that they can where they can go and see you guys? Like you said, you guys are just taking a break from that brand, but the Saturday nights are still there, so you can invite them. Where can they see you and stuff? Especially, syempre, we have listeners na from different parts of the Philippines, and they might come to Iloilo. Invite them, man.
I mean, since we're like taking a break, we wouldn't really call it a break, to be honest, because like as much as we want to take a rest from the whole Cloud Night thing, to like re-strategize and all, like the thing is we're kind of addicted to it already, and we seek for it. We kind of not feel fulfilled if there isn't something planned out, for Cloud Night. So what you can expect from us though is that we're still on the move. We're definitely not gonna like vanish from the scene. We're still gonna take individual gigs. We're still gonna partner up with establishments, events. But for our regular Saturdays, that's what we're putting on hold. So whatever we have planned in the future, just we're inviting you guys to just stay tuned. Keep yourselves posted on the page, and yeah, we'll let you know.
So what can you expect from us during this hiatus? Well, when we come back, you can definitely expect an upgrade from the Cloud Night team in general. We're gonna take this time to really hone in our skills, really train, and I guess more specifically on aspects, styles, and techniques that we felt could really add some spice to our sets. So that number one. And number two, we really do plan, on traveling around the Philippines, seeking new inspirations, actually meeting people that inspire us in person, watching them play live. That really inspires us. So of course, to kind of move in, this kind of industry or as an artist, your main fuel is inspiration. Yeah. So that's going to be our main takeaway from that. And hopefully when we come back, we'll be sharing what inspired us here at Cloud Night with you guys when we come back.
This next question is, as someone who makes move for the Iloilo nightlife industry, you guys make moves, especially for the underground, and as a DJ also, as an artist here in the Iloilo nightlife industry. What is your perspective, or what do you see on the Iloilo nightlife right now? What is its state? Sorry, my S. But what do you think is the state of Filipino Iloilo nightlife right now?
We feel like the current stage in Iloilo nightlife, in a musical sense, it's very, very, how do we say it?
Loading. I don't wanna come up.
I think the right word is very, very commercial. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We all love commercial music, the hottest hits, and things like that. But we, and noticing that, I guess, in the current marketplace, I guess without that, there wouldn't be Cloud Nyt. Because that's literally why we started. We wanted to hear certain things that I guess were a bit more underappreciated. We wanted to bring that to life. So of course, from a business aspect, right? All businesses are gonna do what sells, of course. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, trying to figure out a way to tap into that community of people. I mean, I wouldn't say that Ilo was always like that. You know, a couple years back, we had Stockroom. People loved Stockroom. I loved Stockroom. People really miss that sound. It's just that during the pandemic, we feel like, right, just theory-wise, and as well as a lot of people in the industry will also agree to, is that during the pandemic, all you had was your headphones and your cell phone and Spotify. So whatever came on like the top charts, like, you know, people would just click on playlists and just hit shuffle, you know? Because back then music was more experimental because people went out wanting to listen to what's cool right now. And the DJs in that era basically were like, this is what's cool right now.
Yes, sir.
Listen to this, check this out. So from that nostalgia and I guess from the feelings, I guess, that we had there at those places, we felt like, you know what, we know that the pandemic might have affected, I guess, the scene a little bit, but we just felt like, we wanted to have like that audacity to be like, right, like the audacity to like just be like, you know what, we're just gonna do it anyway. We came in kind of brave in a sense where it was like, if we fail, we fail. If we win, we have fun. So that was like the kind of approach that we had.
I forgot to ask this question. Syempre, Cloud Nyt, underground music, passion. You guys are driven by the music itself, and you got certain kind of branding na, in a way, it's kind of against the commercial. It's underground. So, as making the movement, syempre, there is the business side. You gotta talk to clubs, to the owners, and syempre, owners, they always think about the sales and the risks, and like, okay, if you're gonna play here, if you're gonna do the event here, how can you assure us about the sales? How do you play on those kinds of aspects about Cloud Nyt?
I'd say, aside from being musically driven, I don't think Cloud Nyt is primarily driven on music alone. Because I believe like that the brand itself like has a certain vibe to it. It's not all about sound. So as like what we said earlier, like Cloud Nyt is all about bringing something new to the city, and you know, having that big noise around the niche that we're trying to cover and successfully doing it. So when it comes to the business side, like of course some establishments would actually, go against it per se, or have like a certain outlook on it. But from our experience, like since we're covering that sort of niche, that's where all the people that appreciate that type of sound go to. So like if you're tired of listening to a routinely type of song, or whatever you want to call it, like so there must also be a venue wherein there must be a venue wherein there must be a venue that offers place where you could find something different.
Of course.
I think one more thing that I really feel is important to answering this question is that when we are working with businesses, like you said earlier, Cloud Night isn't just, like a musically driven kind of like thing. It's a whole community. And of course, when we started before, it was all a bunch of close friends that were in different industries and different, places. So of course, like, that's why we call ourselves Cloud Night, because clouds move all the time. Wherever we go, the cloud grows. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
The cloud goes,
Yeah.
the crowd goes.
Yeah, kind of. So, in a sense, it's kind of like, how do I say? We're just like, when we work with a business, we're just hovering, we're the cloud that's like hovering above you guys, and just, like see where like it kind of takes. Because from like our mentors in the industry, they always told us, vibe first, and then the people will come. So once you find the right vibe, the people will come. So when we're working with, of course, any other future establishments that want to work with us in the future, we'll really bring you guys the energy. So that's all we can promise on the Cloud Night. We can bring you the energy, and hopefully it infects the whole room. So
Before we end this podcast, can you guys say something for the viewers, for the young artists, young aspiring artists who also wants to be like you guys? Not just here in Iloilo, but everywhere else in the Philippines. Something you could say about the inspiring message, something like that.
inspiring us. So number one, you always have to find yourself, okay? There's no originality in your art if you do not find yourself first. Number two, art is supposed to disturb the undisturbed. So when you're making art, when you're really experimenting, you're pushing boundaries as an artist. So of course, with all the technical things aside, then after you find yourself, I think at that point, testing the waters, let's say you want to go into DJing or MCing or whatever. Once you're there, at that point, it's really, really important to educate yourself and train hard. Like I said, when me and Ju started, we trained around 5 to 7 hours a day, which is very, very ridiculous. And a lot of people would say like, oh, like you're crazy. Like even my friends at home would just see me just DJing for 5 hours straight, and they'd be like, are you crazy? That is the kind of work ethic you need to have if you really want to move at a fast pace. Don't rush anything, but I really do feel if you love something, you'll really, really take the time to learn it and really, really explore the craft that you're working on. So number one, find yourself as an artist. Number two, train hard.
For me, my message would be, as typical as it may sound. Number one, don't be afraid to take risks. And number two, if you have an obsession, just go and try to pursue ways on how you could actually make or turn that obsession into ideas that could benefit you, the community, and like hopefully people around the world. So, if this obsession is something good and that gives you a sense of fulfillment, as long as you're not doing anything wrong, stepping on anyone, like go continue and pursue that. Make those ideas into reality.
Yes, sir. You heard it from the boys themselves. Cloud Night. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, brothers.
Oh,
Lynn, also, thank you. Thank you, bro. Marami kami natutunan sa inyo. Again, marami kami natutunan sa inyo. Sobra. And
is it okay if we give a shout out?
yeah, sure. Brands, anything.
Alright.
Also,
So-
big shout outs to Drink SLS, Coffee. I can't, man. The Campfire. Thank you so much for letting us use your place to do this podcast. Much love. Big thanks to Dimas, syempre, and also to the team, to the Cloud Night. Thank you for sharing the stage with us. Till next
J7
time,
as well.
brothers.
J7.
J7.
So, on our end, firstly, just want to give a big shout out to the team, the Cloud Night team, to the people that work behind the scenes, Kim, Jade, David, all the other crew. Also to our talents, Yuki, Young. Alright. Alright, let me just read this out. Take two. Also, shout outs to the Cloud Night team, Lxnsta, me, I'm taking myself, Young, Yuki, Abudi, the Kid MC, and like our newer additions to the team, KMFG, Just Drew. And to our mentors and the DJs here in Iloilo that we've worked with and believed in us. First and foremost, of course, Dimas.
Yes, sir.
Jason David, CJ Tanoy, Eric Helia, Richie Rich, Glock Villalobos, Ivan Hukaban, and to all the other DJs in Iloilo City, like that we worked with. We've learned so much with you, and like we can't wait to create more opportunities for the nightlife here in Iloilo. So, also, people in the nightlife scene, that Cloud Night wouldn't like be where it is right now if it weren't for these people. First and foremost, Tito Bam of Drink SLS. Thank you so much for believing in us, giving us all these advice. Sir JV Falsis, Sir Ryan Saez of Headrush, Sir Lee Bertoliano of City of Love Entertainment, Sir Racent Arcega of SM City Iloilo, Miss Sally of 510 Events, Ma'am Rachel Celespara of Mamusa, Tito Kim Haen of Cuvée, Tito Gus and Tita Pao Banusing of Al Dente, where we first started. And of course, to Sir Justin Sembrano, Sir Warren of J7, which we've spent a lot of like memories with, a lot of arguments, a lot of hardships with, but yeah, but at the end of the day, it's all love. We appreciate you. We wouldn't be here, without you guys giving us this opportunity and believing in us from the start. And also, of course, to the Midnight Rebels team here,
Much love, brother.
Kobeast,
Much love.
making waves in Iloilo, Nikki, and
Nah, I'm just kidding.
and
Yes, sir,
Jared
yes, sir.
here. Thank you so much for believing in us and like choosing us for
Sir.
this episode's podcast. Yeah, that's all
Tatlong
from
minuto para kay Jude. I'm just kidding, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna wrap this up once again. They are Cloud Night. We are Midnight Rebels, and this is Rebel Broadcast by the one and only Midnight Rebels. And I am your host, Kobeast, that kid from Manila making waves. Signing off. Pew 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 pew. Yes, sir.